I'm really curious about what brought the two of you together in this collaboration of Kisang Becomes You. In other words, when you first were starting to get to know each other, what was it in the way you were, how you are as artists, what your investigations and aesthetic approaches are that drew you to one another and made you realize you wanted to make a collaborative work?
한번 편집을 둘이 만나가지고
만나게 돼서 같이 하게 된 동기. 딘이 처음에 이 작품에 대해서 얘기했을 때 내가 왜 기생에 대해서 네가 관심 있니? 너는 소양.
When Dean came to her to asking for the collaboration, at first she was a little skeptical because she wasn't sure what his intention was. But then when he told me that he was able to reflect himself in the role of Kisang through the poems, that he felt like that, then she thought that they could definitely make a piece out of it other than like playing on the idea about Orientalism or exoticism they're talking about. And so she thought that would be a good way to approach this piece. And then also they decided to collaborate in a totally open way. So they will be they'll be able to bring their own ideas together. That was also a base of the collaboration.
Dean, what about you?
Well, I had been doing a performing arts market in Korea, and I went to see a performance, and it was her performance. It was random, and I really liked what I saw. It was the only piece on the program that had a kind of absorption of both Korean and modern dance, Western modern dance, and it had rhythms that I couldn't recognize. So I thought that was probably Korean. And, so I tried to bring Yoon Jin's company to the States at that time, and it didn't work. At that time, I was curator still at the kitchen. So then I was an advisor, and so then I was in a bookstore and I saw this. I had this book on the Kisang, the poetry of the Kisang, and I was struck by how much I could feel from them and from these poems, and almost immediately thought of Yoon Jin, that we together could make something. And so I went with her to her, and there was never a kind of exoticism, being exotic myself in some way. I was very much not interested in that. I was already interested in much more a contemporary relationship, and that's what I brought to Yoon Jin. And I think what she was really interested in, more than any kind of exoticism, was that this subject matter is kind of shameful in Korea. And they're modern day Kisang, and they are straight up prostitutes. Even though the history is rich with culture, the current today is not. And so she was concerned about Western guy looking at that subject, with the kind of success rate geishas have in the movies, and it's really bad. So she was concerned with that kind of, and that was never further. And it took like 3 seconds, and we were on to sharing ideas, banging up this thing. We laid out beginnings and ends, almost all in the first hour of the topic. And so we really was like, bang, these things just happened.